Ladies and gents, welcome to CG Reaction, and this is What Happens When the Queen Dies by the channel Vanity Fair. Yeah, this was videos from 2 years ago. I think who's the Charles, the oldest prince apparently, he's gonna take over, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a big mourning process. Entire country was shut down. I'm pretty sure everywhere around the world they'll show it in the news. So yeah, I don't know what more happens in the details. I'm pretty sure there are some ceremonies that go through, the massive ceremonies. Obviously this video will cover that. So yeah, let's watch it. And remember people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out other reaction I did. There's a link in the description. Check out the cards check out the cards for all the playlists I've created. Check out the end cards. And yeah, let's watch this one.
After nearly 66 years on the throne, Queen Elizabeth II is the longest reigning monarch in British history, and has been a constant and calming force amidst the fast-paced changes her country.
After 66 years on the throne, she's the longest reigning monarch. So I guess now is the time to talk about when she's gonna die. I don't know why when I see that, that's just grim, man.
Is faced, making it even more inconceivable to think about what happens when she dies. Born in 1926, she was expected to live a relatively normal life. Well, normal at least by royal standards.
She was born in 1926, so now she's 95 years old. Damn. So yeah, this event could happen any time now, any of the years. It would be weird. I mean, not weird. It would be surreal if she lives longer than any person has ever lived. I don't know, what's the age ratio, 110, 115 or something? What if she lives 120, 125 years? I mean, she was queen her whole life, so I'm pretty sure her lifestyle, she had the best food and best everything, best condition, so why not? She could live that long, who knows?
As third in line to the throne, spending most of her early years out of the public eye.
Third
Everything
in line.
changed in 1936, when her uncle, King Edward VIII, abdicated the throne in order to marry his true love, Wallis Simpson. You see, back then, marrying a divorcee, not to mention a two-time divorcee, was a huge faux pas to the Church of England. And just like that, Princess Elizabeth's father, King George VI, ascended to the throne, making her the next in line. And by 1952, following his death, her time arrived, and the rest is history. When the Queen ascended to the throne in 1952, she was a head of state in 7 countries. The size of the Commonwealth has since expanded to 53 countries.
All up there. I mean, yeah, alright, right. Commonwealth. India is a Commonwealth country, isn't it? India and Pakistan both. Yeah, I recently learned that, very recent, I didn't know that. That's weird. I'm pretty sure most of the Indians don't realize that, but India is still part of the Commonwealth. I mean, Commonwealth Games was, I think, few years ago was held in India, so I guess that would be the, one of the indication it is. But yeah, most people don't realize that, but yeah, India is a Commonwealth country.
The size of the Commonwealth has since expanded to 53 countries, comprising nearly 1/3 of the world's population, and still includes 16 countries where the monarch is officially the head of state. This brings us to Operation London Bridge, the plan that no one wants to talk about, the plan for what happens when the Queen dies. No matter how secretive Buckingham Palace may be about the plans that surround her death, everyone knows exactly what to do, and the plans, which were uncovered by The Guardian, are complex, intricate.
I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I heard that, the Operation London Bridge, I got scared a bit, like, is this some kind of weird, weird ceremony where they blow up London Bridge or something when she dies? Because that's somehow tradition or something, who the fuck knows? I know that's stupid, but so far I've seen lots of, British royalty, traditions and things like that. Lots of that don't make sense, but they're just tradition, people do that. So I'm like, oh shit, isn't it? I hope it's not that. That was a split second, and immediately my mind like, come on, that's stupid, they're not gonna do that.
And timed out to the exact minute. Phase 1, D-Day. According to The Guardian, on the day the Queen dies, Edward Young, the Queen's private secretary, will be the first official to convey the news, setting Operation London Bridge into full gear. And at the exact moment in which she passes, Prince Charles will become king, and Camilla will become Queen-ish. We'll explain that a bit later.
Yes, he's not.
On a secure
I saw the
line-
video, I don't know, CGP Gross video, I don't know, some video where they said that, that's not queen, it's just, queen-ish. I mean, she's not officially part of the throne.
Young will directly inform the British Prime Minister that London Bridge is down. And the news of her death will be distributed to various heads of state before it is disclosed to the general public. Once the Prime Minister is alerted, the Foreign Office's
So he's not Prime
Global
Minister anymore.
Response Centre will alert the 15 governments where the Queen is still considered the head of state.
Yeah.
From there, the 37 nations where she still serves as a political figurehead will also be informed. After this, the announcement
What's wrong with the Indian flag, man? The symbol in the middle is not right. That's weird. She's, political figurehead in India? I don't know. Yeah, obviously because of the Commonwealth country, yeah.
After this, the announcement of her death will be shared with both the UK's Press Association and the rest of the media outlets across the globe. Outside the palace, the news crews will be able to assemble in a predetermined area next to the Canada Gate. The same message will appear on the palace's website on a dark background. All the flags at the palace will be lowered and bells will toll. Both houses of Parliament are expected to gather within hours of her death. And on the evening of his mother's death, Charles will make his first address to the public as king. Now, all of this is assuming that she dies in London. If that's not the case, here's how things will play out. Scenario 1. If the Queen dies abroad, the royal equivalent of Air Force One will fly
Yeah.
a coffin to the location of her death, accompanied by the royal undertakers, and return the Queen's body to London. Scenario 2. If the Queen dies at her Sandringham estate in Norfolk, her body will return to London by car a few days after she passes. Scenario 3. The most intricate scenario of all is if the Queen passes while at the Balmoral Castle in Scotland, where she spends 3 months a year. Scottish rituals will play out before her body returns to London. Phase 2, D-Day +1.
Where she spends 3 months a year. So wait a minute, is there some routine where she lives at different places throughout the year? Or that's what she wants to do? Or is there some kind of a rule or something like that, like Queen, she's at the throne, so she has to do that. She has to live in Scotland, she has to live in Ireland or something like that. Yeah, is there some kind of rule like that? That's fucked up. She's 95, man. Come on, man. This is not the time to, make her run all over the country. Just, leave her at her castle.
Flags will be raised the morning after her death, and at 11 a.m., Charles, the eldest male descendant of Queen Elizabeth, will be proclaimed king. At this point, Charles has waited longer than anyone else in history to assume the throne. Phase 3, D+1 through 12. Following the first 24 hours after her death, Great Britain will enter a 12-day mourning period, culminating with the Queen's funeral. King Charles will tour the country, stopping in Edinburgh, Belfast, and Cardiff to appear at services to honour his mother. During this time, he will also meet with various elected leaders. D+1, Westminster Hall will be closed for cleaning. Elaborate and lavish funeral preparations will begin. D+4, the coffin will be moved to Westminster Hall during a procession that is expected to take place throughout London. When the coffin arrives, Big Ben will chime. Her body will then lie in state for 4 days. The Queen's orb, scepter, and the imperial crown will be placed on her coffin. And
I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be a scene, isn't it? I'm sure every country in the world would be showing this, but it would be something like all the people gathering, all these ceremonies happening, entire countries closed. There would be obviously times like this when we are saying entire country is closed, it's not a new thing. We just witnessed it a few months ago for unfortunate events, but still it would be still weird to see that.
And visitors will be allowed to pay their respects for 23 hours a day. D+9. In the early hours of the morning, the jewels will be cleaned before the funeral begins. Daily life will come to a halt in London. Businesses and stores will be closed.
Makes
Big
sense.
Ben will toll at 9 a.m. on the dot, and the bell's hammer will be covered with leather so that the bell rings in muffled tones throughout the remainder of the day. D+12. Her coffin will then be moved into
Wait a minute, is that bell automated or something? What, they can stop bell from ringing, so they have to put it leather?
Westminster Abbey, and the funeral will begin by 11 a.m. While the media will be allowed to film the services, the faces of the royals will not be shown during prayers. After the funeral, the same carriage that carried her father will return her body to her final
What if somebody mistakenly captures one of the royal family's faces? What is there, some kind of law that is gonna punish them or something?
resting place at Windsor Castle. It's an understatement to say the Queen's death will mean huge changes for the House of Windsor. As previously mentioned, Prince Charles will become king. So what happens to Camilla? Most royal experts believe that the Queen's death will technically make Camilla the Queen consort, but any speculation about her title is just that. King Charles will ultimately make that official decision.
Yeah, obviously he's king then. Yeah, first of all, it was a British system about all things like your songs, God Save the Queen, and your pounds have Queen on it. So what, all currency will change? Like now all currency has to have the king's face on it now. Is that how it's going to be? Or, the songs has to be changed. Now God Save the King is going to be there. I mean, British system is so, so dependent on lots of things. That is, like dependent on the word queen. But nobody thought of what if queen dies and some king comes. We have to change everything. I mean, there will be something changing every single pound to have King Charles's face on it. Maybe King Charles could go like, I want to honor my mother's memory or something. Keep the money and her face. I guess he could do that. And another thing is, obviously this is a bit out there, but still, what if there are lots of people like monarchy is a mistake, this and that. So what if lots of people like, yeah, queen is dead now, let's not crown another king, enough of the monarchy or something. Like, what if some movement like that rises up? I mean, that's also a scary thing. As far as queen is alive, that's not happening. But as soon as she dies, like, what, no more new king or something like that. This is it for the monarchy. What if there's some movement like that?
The Queen's death will move Charles's eldest son, Prince William, the Duke of Cambridge, up in the line of succession to heir apparent. After that, William's 3 children will fill the line in their birth order. This includes his daughter. Thanks to a 2011 vote by the British Commonwealth, Princess Charlotte will be second in line, following her big brother George. So what does this mean for Prince Harry?
Why then needed vote? I mean, isn't that obvious? The older one, the middle one, and the younger one. Isn't that the order anyway?
Will be second in line, following...
because that's a boy, Prince, and she was a girl. Obviously, yeah, that makes sense now.
Big brother George. So what does this mean for Prince Harry, Charles's youngest? Back in 2013, before the Duke and...
He gets nothing. I mean, that's the system. Eldest son gets everything. Younger son just has to sit there.
Duchess of Cambridge had children. Prince Harry was third in line to the throne. Now, Prince Harry is 6th, followed by any children he and Meghan Markle may have. And last but not least, there's Brexit. The truth of the matter is that the monarch has little to do with the UK leaving the European Union. But considering all of the change that will come from a departure from the EU, the monarchy may be the last standing and the most stable institution left.
Yeah, that is true. What is Queen's views on Brexit? I'm pretty sure she didn't give any views because she would be afraid of people's backlash. I don't know. Yeah, so yeah, that kind of makes sense. All these ceremonies, it would be an event to see if that happens. This is still a grim video talking about something that will happen. I mean, life and death, that's just fixed. So this will happen, all the things she said. Normally when somebody makes any video about the future thing, it's just that might happen, that might not happen. It's a prediction. But when it's about life and death, this will happen. That's grim. So yeah. Alright people, if you like my reaction, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out the reaction. There's a link in the description. Check out the cast, all the playlists like CGP Grey, SCP, Salmonella, Internet History and things like that. And yeah, I'll see you next time.